Hello and welcome back in our continued journey of mastering algebra. And hopefully by now we have enough basic foundations in place. We know how to manipulate polynomials. We have already looked at quadratic equations, etc. And now we are moving into typical the exam or a difficult exam kind of a territory and a region or a topic, subtopic known as inequalities. So we're already good at equations. We know how to deal with equations where the LHS and the RHS, the left side and the right side, are equal to each other, or anything with an equal sign. So we, all of us or most of us, are very good at manipulating equations anyway. But occasionally when it comes to inequalities, if the basics are not in place, there are chances of a couple of mistakes. Or better still, we'll absolutely start from zero and we look at what this symbol means, and then keep building as we know we do for any other topic as such, right? So let's dive into the story and let's start with very simple example. What is the meaning of this symbol? It means x is greater than 5. That means what are the possible values of x? X could be 6 or 7 or 8 dot 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 up to infinity. Anything will do. So that idea should be clear. Secondly, I should be able to represent this on the number line. Imagine this point to be 0. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It says x is greater than 5. That means 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and let's say lots of points on the line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this expression tells me that x is going to be in this region, can be anywhere on this line as far as you want to move in the story. Can x be 2 or 3 or 1 or 0 and minus 2? No, this is telling me that x has to be greater than 5. And think of it this way, somebody tells you that the equation would have been that x is equal to 5, that okay, go get me 5 apples from the store. And x is greater than 5 would be, go get me some apples. The number should be greater than 5. Beyond that, it's completely your choice. You want to get 7, 8, 9, 10 or infinity, it's completely up to you, right? So that's how I would want to build a story. And this is my very basic level 0 representation. What if I say x is less than 5? So still playing with the very basic symbol. Again, draw a number line for yourself. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is your marker. And this says x has to be less than 5. That means on the left side of this 5 point. So any value in this region, as far as you want to go back, is acceptable. But whatever is the value of x has to be less than 5. That means starting with 4 or even 4.9 if you are thinking of fractions and decimals as such, but it can't be 5. If I want to make it equal to 5, I can also throw in this symbol, which means now x is less than equal to 5. That means x can be 5 or less than 5 compressed into one symbol. So now even the 0.5 is also acceptable to me, right? So very, very basic ideas. Similarly, now if I say x is greater than equal to 7, what does that mean? Obviously, greater than 7, I know the symbol means any value will be acceptable, 8, 9, 10, 11, etc. But this time, because of this symbol, even a basic 7 will also be acceptable, right? So basic. So very, very basic level of understanding of what just this symbol means. So just keep building on the story. What if I make it look like this? X is less than equal to minus 7. So again, think of the number line. You have 0 and I'm putting up a 0 anywhere. I'm hoping that this very basic interpretation of numbers on a line everybody is okay with. And on left of 0, I have minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this is my minus 7 point. X is less than equal to minus 7. That means 7 is also okay, or minus 7 is also okay. And any value behind this point on the number line, minus 8, minus 9, minus 10, minus 11, etc., all of them will be perfectly acceptable to me, right? Just in case, anybody was unfamiliar that, okay, I can also put a negative sign here. Similarly, what if I say x is greater than minus 3? So just beyond 3, or if you want to stay with integers as such, anything including 2 will be okay on the right side, right? So this greater than symbol, if you're drawing a number line like this, 0 in the middle, right side are positive, left side is negative. This symbol means on the right side, this symbol means on the left side, if you just want to verbalize and visualize the idea, right? So that was absolute zero level basic symbol understanding. Now we are looking for these couple of rules, or and. So if I tell you that x is greater than 5 or x is less than minus 3, how would you represent this information on your number line? Where will this come from? Where will this situation can be created where x is greater than 5 or less than minus 3? We'll see very quickly in a basic quadratic equation inequality, but do not worry about it. Let's say I tell you that x is greater than 5 or x is greater than minus 3. Is it possible, and how would I represent this on the number line? So stay with the idea. There is a 0 in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do not have to draw this. This is just for our communication and understanding the basics visually in our heads as such, right? So no need to draw this, or there's no method here. This is just me visually understanding the data. So x is greater than 5, so anything beyond 6 including 6 will be okay. Or saying possibility is x is less than minus 3, so minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So anything including minus 4 or less than that will be okay. That means x can x be minus 7? Yes, x can be minus 7 according to this rule. X is less than minus 3. Can x be 9? Yes, x can be 9 because or x is greater than 5, right? But can x be 2, let's say? In this story, I am going beyond 5 and beyond minus 3, greater than 5 and less than minus 3. So these values are not acceptable to me. So if I say is x is equal to 2 satisfying this rule? No, it is not, right? Though a lot of numbers are, this particular range is not working for this expression. So let me try the same story with now a little change in the language, and instead of or I say and. I say x is greater than 5 and x is less than minus 3. Is this possible at all? Because the idea being now, because of this and, both of these rules should be satisfied. In the previous case, because of the or, any one of them should have been satisfied. Here the and makes sure that both of them have to be satisfied. Can a number be greater than 5 as well as less than minus 3? So think about it for a second. You have to be on the right side of 5 and the left side, and the word is very, very important. That means simultaneously. That means no real number will work, right? No, x is not a real number in this story. What is real and imaginary? Ignore. It just means that there is no solution for this expression. No value of x is ever going to satisfy this. What if I change the story a little bit? I say x is greater than 5 and x is greater than 8. Is this possible? And again, let me go for a little bit of a story interpretation. I tell you that okay, go to the shop and get me more than 5 toffees. X is greater than 5. And another senior person tells you that get toffees, the same mission, but the number of toffees should be greater than 8. And now you want to keep both the people happy. You want to follow my rule and the other person's rule. I have told you that whatever is the toffee number should be greater than 5. In the same visit, because there is an and, the other person has told you whatever number is okay as long as it is greater than 8, and you want to keep both the people happy. Where will I find that region, right? So again, just for basic representation, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is my one reference point, then 6, 7, 8, right? 9, 10, 11 up to infinity. This rule tells me anything on the right of 5 is okay, not including 5, right? And just right of 5 could be 5.1, but if you stick with integers, I'm starting with 6. But just understand it visually, anything on the right of this point is okay. This rule will be satisfied as long as I stay in this region. To satisfy this rule, I have to stay on the right of this point, this particular point. But if I notice any point beyond this point is keeping this equation happy as well as this equation happy. That means, say if I say 9, 10, 11, right? If I say x is equal to 11, you went to the market and you got 11 toffees. Will this person be happy? Yes, because he just said bring me more than 8 toffees. Will this person be happy? Yes, he will also be happy because he just said bring me more than 5, and 11 is more than 5. No complaints there, right? Right, so this idea should be very, very clear. Two conditions. If there is an and, I want to satisfy both of them. What is the meaning of satisfaction? Keep this happy, keep this happy. What are the numbers which keep both of them happy? Anything above 8 will keep both of them happy, because anything above 8 is also above 5. So think of the common region, and if you want to merge this, you will say, okay, my answer finally is x is greater than 8, right? So if you have this kind of an information, you can also compress it so that this works for both parts of the story. Just for playing, in the same story, if I throw in an and, what happens? X is greater than 5 or x is greater than 8. This time even 6 and 7 will work, because remember, these are now two separate stories. Any of them can be satisfied. So you have the 0 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and anything on the right of this is okay. Or that means think that there is another number line. Anything on the right of 8 is okay. And you are okay with satisfying any of the conditions. That means one person told you x is greater than, get more than 5 toffees, and the other person told you get more than 8 toffees, but the principal told you that satisfy any one of them and you will get your full marks. So you can satisfy this story. That means x is equal to 6 will be okay, x is equal to 7 will be okay, and anything after that will be okay. Or you can go for this story that x is equal to 9 will be okay, x is equal to 10 will be okay. So you can compress it to x is greater than 5, or just be clear with the idea that we are thinking of ranges. What number will satisfy either one of them, or in the AND case both of them. That is a basic game. Let's look at these two basic conditions, and between them. That means you have to satisfy both of them. X has to be less than 3 and x is greater than minus 3. Think of the number line. This is your 0 point. You have minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. This is minus 3. And you have 1, 2, 3. This is 3. Lot of points beyond this also. And now look at the conditions again carefully. X is less than 3. That means any number to the left of this 3 is okay, right? And there is an and. That means you have to satisfy this condition as well. Let's think of this condition. It says x is greater than 3 or minus 3. That means on the right side of the number. So any number on the right side of this minus 3 is also okay, right? And what are the numbers which are satisfying this as well as this? Obviously the common region. This part of the story works for both the conditions, because any number in this region is greater than minus 3. It's on the right of minus 3 and it is on the left of 3. That means numbers like minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2 will satisfy both the stories, right? So get the basic game and interpretation in play. Understand the difference between the or and the and rule, and just look at a few basic scenarios, right? So between two numbers, a region lies between two numbers. So if you get a story like this, greater than minus 3, greater than a negative number and less than a positive number, you are getting the middle space. So just playing with the basic idea for now. We'll move into more complicated territory in a second, the moment we are comfortable with this. This says or, and it says x is less than minus 3. Draw a 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. This point is minus 3. It says less than minus 3. That means any point on the left of this minus 3 is okay. Or this says x is greater than 3. So 1, 2, 3. This point is 3 plus 3. And any point on the right side of this is okay. So this is how I will finally write my data, that there could be a story, and we'll come up with the story in no time. There could be a story where the value of x has to be greater than 3 or less than minus 3. That means what is it? So in this story, it's more about what are the numbers which are not possible. So this is the region which is not possible, which will not satisfy either of the conditions, right? Still at basic gameplay. So let's just complicate the story a little further. What if I say a familiar expression, I say x is greater than minus 3 and x is less than 4, and I put a and in between, right? Where will this language come from? We'll see in due time. So I give you this condition and I say or x is greater than 8. How would this information look on the number line? And am I okay with this idea that there are regions in the story which are working for me? Because if we started off with simply on the right or simply on the left of one point, now we are thinking, okay, on the number line, depending on my situation, I can create any kind of a story, right? So how would this story look for me? This is my 0 point, this is my minus 3, this is my plus 4, and let's say this is my plus 8. Something that satisfies this whole expression. X is greater than minus 3, on the right side of minus 3 any number will be okay. X is less than 4, anything on the left of 4 will be okay. So this region definitely is a happy region. This region will work for me, right? I am just capturing the information visually on the right side of 3, on the left side of 4. X is greater than 8. What does that mean? Anything on the right side of 8 is okay. Can I be, as a beginner it might be troublesome, but otherwise it's a very simple story that this region is okay or this region is okay. What is not okay? This part is not okay. This part is not okay. You can't go less than minus 3 because this story doesn't allow you less than minus 3. Neither does this story because this is saying x is greater than 8, right? So anything beyond 8. So not only what are the happy regions, what regions are possible, what regions are not possible, where can you not go. So inequalities are essentially giving you ranges of information. We started with only a single point, now we're looking at, okay, I could have this and the rest are not okay. For that matter, I could have a multi-point story. This region will be, let's say, happy with the equation. Then a little region will not be, then another region could be, and then another region could not be, and so on and so forth, right? So that means the story can get as complicated as possible. What we want is to understand, okay, how would this look like? If this point is A and this point is B, this would look like x is greater than A, right? X is on the right side of A. And this point will look like x is less than B. Assuming B is greater than A, you will end up in this region, right? So getting comfortable with what do we mean by inequalities and how could it possibly come across to us in various questions and stories.